Hey everyone, so since a lot of you asked me to talk more frequently about the kind of literature that I like and things, I thought I'd do the top 10 books tag, which seemed like a good place to start. I am slightly cheating, I do have 12 books in this. I promise I tried so hard to narrow it down and I really couldn't. So we have 12. Also, I'm not including, apart from one, I'm not including any of my Byron books. This one's not strictly a Byron book, because there are just too many Byron books that I have, and I'm not including poetry collections and poetry books. But with that out of the way, let's get straight in with it. So number 12 is Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. I read this last year for the first time for a module on 18th century literature. Didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I am completely obsessed with the Wynnum, or Wynnums I guess is the plural. I absolutely love it. It is such a fantastic adventure. To my knowledge, I've never seen any of the adaptations, any of the films based on it, or TV adaptations. I've never read a children's version. The actual novel was my first experience with it, and I completely love it. Number 11 is Anne Devlin's After Easter, which is quite a thin play, as you can see there, but I absolutely love it. It deals with kind of feminism, but also Ireland and the Troubles. Characters are called Greta, Helen, and Aoife, which are three of my favourite names. Really beautiful, quite emotional, very spiritual, fantastical play. Martin McDonagh's Leenane trilogy has to be number 10, specifically The Beauty Queen of Leenane, but also A Skull in Connemara and The Lonesome West. It's very dark humour, but it is very entertaining, very funny in parts, quite emotional and very surprising in the others. Maureen is one of the most amazing characters ever that's in The Beauty Queen, just massive West Coast Irish fest. Number 9 has to be Frankenstein. The first time I read this, to be honest, I didn't like it, but now it's one of my all-time favourite novels. Die-hard fan of Frankenstein. Won't go too much into the story, I'm sure you all know it. The specific collection I have is the Geneva collection, which obviously plays heavily on the whole Villa Diodati episode of Byron, which is one of my favourites. And this one, for your information, has Frankenstein, Polidori's The Vampyre, fragments of a ghost story by Percy Shelley, and fragments of a novel by Byron. So if you're going to buy Frankenstein, I do recommend you get the Geneva collection because it is gorgeous. Number 8 is actually a biography, and it's An Image of Such Politics, Gore-Booth by Sonja Tiernan, and oh my goodness, this is phenomenal. I'm a huge admirer of Gore-Booth. I think she is beautiful. For those of you who don't know anything about her, basically she was born in Sligo, west coast of Ireland, and she's a sister of Constance Markievicz. And she writes poetry, but she's more so known for her work as a suffragist when she moved over to England. She lived in Manchester most of her life, and she's phenomenal. And this is, without a doubt, the ultimate way to learn about her. The biography is so thorough, completely opened my eyes to her, and I truly recommend this. Love her to bits, and the biography is fantastic. Number 7 has to be A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, James Joyce. This was one of the first books I read when I came to university, and when I first saw it I thought, what was that? Any book that starts with, once upon a time, and a very good time it was, there was a moo cow coming down along the road. And this moo cow that was coming down along the road met a nice little boy named Baby Tuckoo. He was Baby Tuckoo. His father told him that story. His father had a hairy face. He looked at him through a glass. The moo cow came down along the road where Betty Byrne lived. She sold lemon platt. And after that you're kind of hooked, and Joyce I just think is so amazing. His mind is something that I just love to study. He is phenomenal, and of course Irish, and it's one of the best books ever. Sticking with the Irish theme, we next have Marina Carr's plays too. She has 2 collections of plays published. She also has 16 Possible Glimpses, which is I believe the most recent published. But this is the second collection, which personally I just preferred to the first collection. The first collection is fantastic. That's got the May in it. It's got the By the Bog of Cats. Really enjoyed that. But this one has got to be my favourite. It's kind of Irish mythology and spiritualism, but with feminism baked right into it. And this is On Rafferty's Hill, Ariel, Women and Scarecrow, The Cordelia Dream, and Marble. 5 plays in there, and it's just, oh, I love her so much. This is definitely my favourite collection out of the 2. But if you're going to read her plays, which I really urge you to do, start with the first collection and read them in order. I just think you'll get a better experience that way. Number 5 is the Autobiography of Maud Gonne, which is A Servant to the Queen, and I just want to say, isn't she just the most gorgeous human being ever? I honestly think she's breathtaking. When I was about to read this, I was getting so excited because I adore Gonne more than life itself. And to actually have her words written down, the way she thought about things in this book, fantastic. There are kind of questions about how truthful she's being, or how much her memory is allowing her to remember things accurately. There are 1 or 2 points which have been pointed out saying that's not how it was. but you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But it's gorgeous, and I love her to bits, and reading this all the way through, I pretty much cried. It is through the Guardian Angel's journal that I pretty much wept from start to finish. This is by Carolyn Jess-Cooke. This was her debut novel, and it is phenomenal. As you can imagine, it deals with the concept of the Guardian Angel. And when I first started reading this, I thought, yeah, it's enjoyable. The deeper into it I got, the more emotional the journey became, and I fell in love with it instantly. Number 3 is Angels in My Hair by Lorna Byrne, and this is gorgeous. It is a true account of Byrne's experiences with angels. She can see angels and also occasionally spirits, and it's a great insight into the spirit world and how the side of the angelic beings work. For me, I found it to be very educational and spiritual teachings, but also very emotional, very eye-opening, and very, very inspiring as well. And this particular edition has a bit at the back which is called How to Communicate with Your Angels, which is nice. But I do love this a lot, and if you're looking for any true account of interactions with angels, please get this one. The second last book is Mrs. Darcy vs. the Aliens by Jonathan Pinnock. I've never laughed so much in a book in all my life. It's basically a parody of Pride and Prejudice, but it's what happens next after the marriage of Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy, and kind of what their life is like after that. I say that Charlotte Lucas is off her face on drugs. It includes alien tentacles that are the ghosts of prostitutes. Lord Byron is in it, and he has, I quote, the biggest balls. It is hysterically funny, and I treasure it so much. So as I said, that's the only Byron book I'm putting in this, but it's not really a Byron book. I did want to put Pride and Prejudice in this collection, but I thought since I'm putting this in, that can kind of count for both of them. Honestly, please go and read it. Hilarious. And the book at the top of the list is without a doubt the best book I've ever read. The Boy Who Could See Demons by Carolyn Jess-Cooke. After I read The Guardian Angel's journal, I thought, right, I need to go and read her second novel. And I kind of thought, this can't be as good as the first one. There's no way I'm going to get the same emotional experience from demons as I did with angels, which is a sentence I probably never thought I was going to say. But honestly, I basically read the first chapter and just thought, my goodness, I don't know how Jess-Cooke does this, but she kind of tops the scale again. And I read it from start to finish in kind of monumental speed and read it again. I've read it several times since then, and it's probably the best book ever, not just because it's so well written, but basically because it's the most inspiring book I have ever read. It is actually because of this book and because of Jess-Cooke's writing that I awoke one morning and said, I am going to write a novel. And I am, and I'm in the process of doing that. So without this book, I probably would be sitting here completely kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Unmotivated, I guess. And it is, I owe a lot to this book, and to Guardian Angel's journal, but specifically to demons. I absolutely love it. Right, that was done very, very quickly. I apologise for the speed of that. It may not have been the easiest to keep up with, but I hope you got something out of it. Please go and read those books. Maybe not all of them, but if you want to know any more about them in any more detail, obviously I haven't gone into too much, let me know. That is it for just now, so I'll see you all next time. Bye!